Just coming in over here on the Tennessee Tombigbee Waterway at a place called Beaver Lake, and I'm gonna come in here and cold roll. I hadn't been here yet this year. A lot of factors added up to that, so we'll come in and see what kind of cream I can pull out of here. If it hadn't been hit yet, should be pretty good. And I'm gonna get down here to the boat ramp, put the boat in, and see what kind of mischief I can get into. I just put the boat in, got a little, good bit of ways from the boat ramp. I knew it was gonna be pretty interesting because there was castor mounds at the boat ramp. You see the big water, big river, and this is it's been extremely windy for a couple days. Kind of shut me out of coming up here. The wind has kind of slacked a little bit, and I knew it was going to wash all the sign away, and it would develop everything that was super fresh. But look at this castor mound. The tracks up here on top of it are bigger than my hand. It's going to be a big adult beaver right here setting this castor mound up. I'm going to give him something to check out. I'm going to add my own little pile of castor mound right here to it and put a set in. I'll take a look at it when I get it put in. But it's always a good sign when right at the boat ramp, as you're putting the boat in, you can already smell the castor in the air. So I don't think this place has been hit yet. I have rearranged some of the mud off this beaver's own castor mound. It's going to give them curiosity. They know what these look like. This is their living room. If somebody rearranged the furniture in your living room, you'd notice the difference too. I took some of my Alpha Delta castor lure, and that's a new jar. So as soon as I opened the top of the jar, it had a little bit of liquid on the top. And I chose to drizzle it across the top of this mud. And don't waste it. And I have bedded a TS85 right here at their approach, and I'm gonna run the cable out and deep water anchor to it. But there's set number 1 at this lake for today. But every time, I didn't carry a big line with me, but I'll see what I need to bring for the remainder of the next few days to fill in what gaps I see as I need more, more traps to cover the sign. Set number 1, and there'll be something happening here. There's just too fresh, and the tracks are bigger than my hand, so that's kind of exciting. I'll get this set finished and keep moving down. I just put that set in right around the corner from here, but this is probably the same beaver doing this. But I don't have enough water right here to put in a drowner set. So I'm gonna let that set up there do the hunting. There's a castor mound. There's a castor mound. There's a let me block that sun. There's a nice big fresh castor mound. This cove is very active. If I had enough water out here, I would put in another set. If I can find deeper water close to here, I'll put in my own set, but it's just not an ethical situation if you can't drown them fairly quickly. Take a good chance of having a pull out or a miss, and don't want that. But it's a really good sign. It's going to be, I probably hadn't gone a quarter mile yet. I've probably encountered 10, 15 castor mounds already. It's looking good. We'll keep on moving. I'm gonna paddle down the river just a little ways to another cove. This one, these castor mounds right here are here every year. This one is super fresh. You can tell where the beaver is approached right here. Come up here to put his mud and deposit his castor, scent. This one, it's a much bigger mound, but it's not near as fresh in activity. It's been several days since it's been hit. You can tell they've come up right here to scent, reapply their castor to the top of that mound. And this one over here is a much smaller mound and much older. I am going to make my own little mound right in here. dig out a bed, give me some mud to put it on. I mean, this was a fresh deposit of mud they just started adding here. There's an old one that's collapsed. There's one that's been hit in the last 2 days. This one's been hit in the last week, and that one over there probably hadn't been hit in months. But they're still using this, and every generation of beaver in this area will continue to use these scent marker locations as like boundaries. So it's a great place to put in a set, and we'll take a look at that set when I get it finished. I have taken some of the mud and debris from the castor mound itself, relocated it, built my own pile right here. I've taken some of my Alpha Delta castor lure, applied it to that mound. I've dug out a bed right here and squished another TS85 down in there pretty good. Getting it down into the mud and debris in the bottom. I'm taking some of this vegetation, kind of made a little bit of fencing, just mildly. I got these sticks over here for fencing that gives their approach to this right here. So that's where I'm trying to put that beaver. We'll run the cable out in deep water, anchor it up. And between this one and the castor mound and the next cove above it, it's probably the same beaver using this area and doing this, but the way these mounds are, set up makes me think there's a pair in here. And hopefully maybe you'll pick them both off. But every year these mounds just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Some of them in the big swamp where I'm going to go after the 1st of February, the mounds are over waist high. This one's way over knee high. And we'll just get this set finished and keep moving. Just down to the next cove, headed back over to the private ground I'm fixing to head to in a few minutes. But this is 2 more mounds I found right here on the next cove up. They already had it wet from they coming up and down. Not fresh mud so much as just coming up and down this little crawl out to, I guess, check on their mounds. I've taken the vegetation, pulled it over here, pulled this vegetation out of the way, dug a bed, bedded a No BS Beaver Extreme right here in the bullseye, about 6 inches of water. Run my cable out in deep water, anchor it up. But this serves as 2 things, both a castor scented area and also a blind set for just their coming and going. It has 2 things going for it set this way, so you could potentially double the chances of making a catch as both a castor scented location and a blind. So I'll finish this set and keep moving down. I'm sitting right here in front of a bank lodge, and you just, it is eat up with tracks down through here and mud and fresh mudding and everything where they've been packing sticks, and you can just see where there's a lodge in that bank. They do have a castor mound right over here too. So I'm gonna have to put in a set right here. This is active and they're living here. I can tell by the tracks up through here it's a pretty good sized beaver. I've hit this bank den before, but it was never this much fresh sign. There's fresh mudding, fresh tracks all over the place. I'm not finding the runs. Don't mean much. They come out through here, these bogs way out here, and you just can't always find them, but you know they're living here. This is mudded up. It's the side of a bank den. This whole bank is going to be a hollowed out bank den in there. And they just keep packing mud and sticks over the roof to keep adding on from season to season. I think the last time I was in here I pulled about 3 off this bank lodge, and it's still active and being used fairly heavily. Pretty good sized tracks. I'm gonna have to see how best to approach this in a minute. I pushed the boat up in here about as far as I could get it. With all this bog under here, trying to get a drowner cable out through here to deeper water, it's going to be an issue. You can just tell how tracked up it is up in that mud. And I mean, this whole area is a fabricated mud and stick bank that the Beaver have made over their existing bank lodge. Just no real good places right here to put in a set, but I could pull them past here or beyond here at another location, and I got better water to put in a drowner set that I think will serve better than trying to crowd them right here at their lodge. But I know there's at least one, possibly two in this lodge, because I have pulled 3 off of it in the past, but it's been last season. Just glad to see it's being used again. But I'll go upwind to here and put in a caster mount and pull them off this location to pull them to me where I got better water. Right there's that bank lodge right there. I have come down here, I don't know, about 10, 12 feet, and I found where I could get in closer to the bank. And all this fresh mudding and caster mound, and I've taken a TS-85, kind of squished it in best I could reach from the boat right there, and broadcasted a little bit of that caster sand up in here. They're living here. Now a lot of times in the past, when I try to, crowd their bank lodge, these sets never really do produce very well. But I'm going to try it again, just due to the sheer amount of fresh sign right here. Got this stick right here submerged. Got this caster mound here, crawl out where they're doing all this fresh mudding. It's got a blind, caster scent, blocking, and the bank lodge itself right here. So shouldn't be any reason this should not produce. But I didn't feel like getting out and squishing it down in there real solid. It is what it is. I just lazy, I guess. But I wiggled it on down into the bottom best I could right there. I'll get this anchored up out in deep water and move over to the private ground. Just in here, continuing the prospect, and looked around. Now there's a 1, 2, 3 caster mound right there. I used to pull quite a few beaver out here every season. There is a little bit of fresh sign in here at it, but nothing that says, set it. Just a little bit of fresh sign, nothing in the past couple of days. And it is silted in pretty bad, so there's not a whole lot of water left to make a set in anyway. I'm going to keep moving down and hopefully find a lot better fresh sign further down. This is more along the lines of what I was looking for. Now the one right over there, just right across this little cove, that had silted in to the point that it was not really usable. Now there has been a beaver or two use it, but this one has one, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 caster mounds on this little projection point sticking out into the river here, and everything coming around this point is going to be coming in checking all these mounds, especially if you got a strange caster scent floating in there. Now right here in this bush I do have a nutria pad also, so it could be a potential for a multi-species catch location. This is nutria. I can tell from the poop all over the bushes where they're sitting. That's a nutria been sitting there chewing all these sticks, and just like a day pad for them to climb out and sit and sleep sunning. But with the 6 caster mounds right here in this location, I think I'm gonna have to shove the boat in there about as far as I can get, step out and make a set, because it's just too fresh. The majority of the fresh sign is over here, where they're climbing out, mudding and putting caster. But right over here is a lot of lily pad stems where they're climbing up in here eating. So yeah, it's potential for a multi-species catch. Hopefully not the nutria, but I'll take it if I get it. But I'll get out and finish this set and we'll take a look. When I get out, the sign will be more apparent what I'm looking at. Well, here's the caster mound I've chose out of this wad of mounds right here to set up. This has the most fresh sign on it. I've taken my foot and stomped out of bed right here and put a couple sticks on each side of it, and squished me in a TS85 right in the bullseye. Applied some of my Alpha Delta castor lure up in here on the approach and ramp area for the getting to the mound. I want to get the cable out in deeper water, get it set up, but there's also a look at that little nutria pad in the bushes. You can tell from all the poop and the black stuff on the bush right there. It's just one of their sitting pads, so something's going to happen here. I have caught beaver and otter out of this same location over the years, and it's always been a good spot. I'll finish this set and keep moving. I was just in here looking around. I knew I should have brought some 330s with me, but I wasn't counting on finding dens. You can see this dark water run right there. See all these beaver sticks on the bottom, these white sticks. You see this dark water run right here. There's 1, 2 runs, and they've even got it cut. You can see it cut in the bottom, right out through the real shallow stuff. They'll come out, hit these ditches, and they won't pop up till they get way out here. There's a clean run, and right there's a clean run. And if I'd have had some 330s with me today, they ain't no doubt I'd have put them in here. I'd get out and find these holes and set them right at the mouth of the hole, but these are active. You can tell from all the old chew sticks, some fresh white chew sticks all over the bottom. Yeah. This is an active bank den. They got an active slide going up here where they're cutting. Yeah. Sometimes you just don't make the right choices, I guess. I should have brought some 330s, but I'll keep moving.